upon filmmaking, collaboration and co-production opportunities. Today we welcome the representatives of friendly countries and talking about the trade turnover of our countries and critical projects and cultural projects. They are broader presented compared to movie projects. Definitely we are succeeding in this field, but we would like our today's conference to kick off a greater number of projects and products in our countries for releasing these films, for screening them. All kinds of films will be shown. That is why we are going to discuss these opportunities of collaboration at this high-rank site. Dmitry Davydenko is the director of the Department of Filmmaking and Digital Development of the Ministry of Culture of the Russian Federation. Rayat Farizadeh is the head of the International Department of Farabi Cinema Foundation. Sayura Khudaberdieva is the representative of the International Department of Uzbekino in Uzbekistan. Alexei Telnov is the General Director of the St. Petersburg Documentary Film Studio. Angelo Skonda is a producer from Italy. Mahmoud Said will join us online. He's from Tajikistan. He's the director of filming. Talbek is the director of the State Cinema Center, Kyrgyz, and the representative of CCI is Nurbek Atakanov. Yuri Marianovich Alexei has also joined us. He is the general director of Belarus Film Studio. Mikhail Rolandze is the general director of the Research Center for International and Comparative Law, LLC, and the candidate of legal sciences and associate professor of the Department of International Law of the Department Academy. And Elmira Sadikova is the candidate of legal sciences, doctor of political sciences, and honored lawyer of the Republic of Tatarstan, executive director of the Foundation for Promotion of Strategic Dialogue and Partnership. The deputy head of the State Committee of the Republic of Tatarstan in Tourism is Aygul Balakhontsova, and Eleonora Tukharela is the general producer of the Regional Cinema Support Fund. I would like to ask the first question, which I'll address to Dmitry Davydenko. Does the legislative backbone allow us to promote cooperation, which we have mentioned? And how does the Ministry of Culture support co-production projects? Good afternoon, dear friends. Thank you very much for having chosen our panel. It seems to me that's of prime importance, because often do we encounter our friends who are present here both offline and online. We meet filmmakers from different foreign countries, but we would like this experience not only to be cordial, but the bottom line should also be tangible projects. Joint projects, co-films, which will be seen by viewers. The culture is beyond policy, although it's a controversial issue. People will maybe not believe that it's outside policy, that it's beyond policy. There are no frontiers and limits in culture. And the culture is extra-national as well. And I suppose that our meetings, especially the governmental officials, that's what I would like to admit, will be decision makers in terms of giving rise to these projects. Maybe co-production will go smoothly and fluidly, and we will be helpful for our colleagues from different countries to find their partners and to forge partnerships and to find the like-minded and to find the co-producers in diverse countries. Invariably, there are some legal nuances of cooperation. As for some countries, we have already signed some agreements on co-production, but we haven't signed them with most countries yet. And why does that impede us? For instance, Russia has support of national filmmaking. And when we sustain these projects, it will be possible if it has the national film certificate. This certificate makes the producers exempt from taxation, But there are a lot of requirements which we have to uphold in order to obtain this national cinematograph certificate and to gain the governmental subsidy. And most members of the film crew should be the citizens of the Russian Federation. The film is to be shot in our official language. And when it comes to indigenous people's languages, it's hard to attract investment, to raise investment from abroad and to start collaboration with foreign partners, because we, in this case, will be deprived of this status. And in order to avoid that, we get the co-production status. At present, Russia has signed some agreements with 6 CIS countries. There are some contracts on cooperation in the field of filmmaking. We have also signed some cooperation on co-production, some agreements on co-production with some other countries such as Germany, Canada. We have recently signed an agreement with Israel. However, the time is ever-changing and the geopolitical conditions have evolved. And nowadays, the most common meetings and the most explicit ones are centered around the achievements of the CIS countries. In particular, it's Uzbekistan, with which we're eager to forge partnership. And hopefully, we'll sign an agreement on co-production in the foreseeable future. Otherwise, it will be nothing but private projects. They do exist. They are underway. But as I have already highlighted, they have a lot of legal impediments. We do have some projects with foreign countries, but they are point-wise. And rarely do they occur. And this happens when private, independent producers find another independent producer in a different country. We're willing to take part in these projects. We are eager to back them. And apparently, it is our administrative work which should alleviate these legal intricacies. And it will jumpstart our joint cooperation. And I would like to draw your attention to the fact that it's a kind of a live case. I teach at the Acton University, and I teach the history of the national cinema, and it also encompasses the movies of the Soviet period. And when we watch these films, we can see Turkmen film, Uzbek film logos. We can also notice Belarus film. And having this backlog of past achievements, we cannot distinguish that from what we have now. It's our common film, it's our shared movie making. It's also Uzbek and Tajik and Soviet, Russian. Not only is it Russian. And we would like to increment a number of projects in this field, and we would like to have more shared projects. They do not have to belong to one single country. And this entails release in these countries as well. That's what we are going to discuss. It also envisages discovery of new actors and film directors. That's the so-called soft force. Although we're not going to address political issues, it's our force, and it is based on our traditional moral values, which all of us share. I'm absolutely sure all those who are present in this hall share these values. I mean, those who represent the countries. Yes, Dmitry, thank you very much. Let me also give you the floor in the end. I would like to ask some questions concerning the bottom line of our conference. Thank you, Dmitry. And prior to passing the floor to Raid Farizadeh, I would like to highlight that we have conducted a lot of events in Iran, and Iran is our permanent guest of Moscow Film Festival and the Iran Muslim Film Festival, and the filmmaker Union has conducted a film forum, and the Russian Federation is a frequent guest to Forcha Film Festival. And what really matters in this regard is that this leads to filmmaking. I mean, these public projects. And that's what we are going to cover. What results from that, and which tangible projects may be supported by Farabi Film Fund. Garit Farizadeh, the floor is yours. We have some technical programs, regrettably. Let us now give the floor to Sayura. We have already covered our cooperation with Uzbekistan with Tashkent International Film Festival. It was held and it was resumed 3 years ago, and it was a point of gravity for international and Russian films projects producers. We are eager to find out more details about the progress of filmmaking in Uzbekistan. Dear friends, dear colleagues, I've greeted you in the Uzbek language. I would like to express my sincere gratitude for having me. That's the first time when I'm taking part in this forum. Therefore, that's kind of a discount. I do not like public speeches, but I try to convey all the messages I have. Thank you very much, Milusha, for inviting me to this forum. The Uzbeks should always start their public speeches with acknowledgements. We are thankful to these forum hosts. We realize how these forums and meetings are demanded. It is called festivals in our filmmaking industry. We're not boasting of that. I'm just highlighting that year by year, we augment a number of our festival movements. We have more and more meetings at different film forums. We show some movies from Uzbekistan and other countries, and vice versa. Special weight is given to our government. I would like to express my gratitude once again to my government, to the heads of my government. And currently, our President Shavkat Mirziyoyev is now visiting our agency, and I hope that he will be satisfied with our victories and with our investment and paying attention to our films, and hopefully everything will go smoothly. The government is supporting our filmmaking because it allocates subsidies. It allocates 90% of subsidies in films, festivals, forums, meetings, education. It is owing to our governmental funds. Thank you very much. That's why I would like to thank my government. The festivals are not only about splendid flags. That's where we may showcase and watch films, and we voice a lot of filmmaking issues. And we started our advancement in terms of some projects with various countries, and some of them are members of our co-production partners. And we are eager to greet these representatives, and I will also touch upon this field. Let me also voice one more thing. First and foremost, that's where our films are listed. But this list is not exhaustive. There are the films which are going to be underway this year. In terms of co-production, the geography is vast. It's about Azerbaijan, Hungary, Russia, Turkmenistan, and there are a lot of films and a lot of names of the movies, and I will also focus on them because some of them are underway, some of them are approaching the filming period, some of them are launching post-production, and some of them are writing the scripts. As for Uzbekistan, we have established some organizations during the festivals. Some of them the board of directors of the film studio of the CIS countries. And it is also the association of filmmakers from the countries of Islamic world called Turksoy. And as pertains to these organizations, They help us create some more films, and I will describe them a little bit later. And that's our reason for being proud of that. That's the 4th year in a row when we hold our Tashkent International Festival called the Pearl of the Silk Road. It was initiated by our president as well. We would like to invite all of you there this year. Traditionally, it will be held in September from the 15th to the 20th of September. And now we start expanding our contest agenda of Central Asia countries and the Great Silk Road countries. And China, Hungary, India are moving in this direction. We're also going to invite Tatarstan so that they can take part in it. That's all related to festivals. I truly relish festivals. That's why I've listed them. When it comes to filmmaking, Dmitry has already covered documentaries.
We start making films, big documentary movies, and our partner is Culture TV channel, and we are making a cycle of 10 documentary movies, which is called Go Back to Their Roots of Ancient Civilization. Archaeological excavations are being conducted all around the country, and not only archaeologists from Uzbekistan, but also from Russia are taking place there. And Culture TV channel, Kultura TV channel will join it, and our filmmakers, and we will get the cycle of more than 10 movies, and we are waiting for them at the end of May. As for the documentary movies, and another documentary movie which you are going to hear about, our colleague Alexei Ternov, our friend actually, Alexei Ternov, and the director of a studio of documentary movies last year, I guess, at pitching at cinema film festival in St. Petersburg. And we started to implement this project, mosque documentary movie, the history of creation, one of the biggest Muslim monument, cathedral mosque located in St. Petersburg. It's a very exciting story. If I could make it, I would make a motion movie. And I managed to convince Alexei go to Tashkent, because we need to talk it over. And we will collaborate. And I'd like to mention that the Ministry of Culture of the Russian Federation supported this film production. Yes, thank you very much to the Ministry of Culture of the Russian Federation. That's a very interesting story. And I guess that the documentary movie will be of big interest, but we need to think about making motion movie. Okay, I guess I pressed wrong button. Okay, sorry, I just need to correct something. One more. This is a half documentary, half narrative movie, together with Culture TV channel. We have such character, Hoja Nasreddin. This is the story of Nasreddin and puppets of Giuseppe. The dolls or puppets produced in Venice will be used in this film. And at the end of the May, we will start making this movie together with Culture TV channel, and we have partners from Italy and from America. So we will have filming scenery in Venice, in Bukhara as well. I'm moving to narrative movies. together with St. Petersburg studio, we start making magnificent vessel. We are fond of fairy tales. So I don't have it in a presentation. Russian fairy tales release is very successful in Uzbekistan. And filmmaking production will be in Bukhara. I think that we will, maybe in Kazan. We'll discuss it in Tashkent tomorrow. One more project. Russian Uzbek project together with Tatar cinema about Islamic scholar Marjani. About 1 month ago, in the framework of celebration of Tatar cinema, and the heads of our agency came, and we signed a memorandum of this work. And it's a fantastic person, and his biography and his life needs to be known. We will have a lot of movies, and actually I'm making a particular accent on the movies which are on the go. And if we sign the agreement in the near future together with Russia, I think it will be great. And these are our long-term partners. Of course, I also appreciate our partners. But since we are here in Russia, I want to talk about our Russian partners, and I hope that our partnership, our friendship, our joint meetings will enhance our collaboration, and this forum is crucial for our work. Thank you very much. I have 2 questions. I guess I will address this question to all our CIS colleagues. And if you say that 90% of funding is from the government, what? Okay, so if we talk about the budget of the sector, I think it's about $11 million. It is a great amount of money for Uzbekistan. That's, a good sum. How many films and TV serials do you produce a year in Uzbekistan? This year, I think we will have about 30 narrative movies and 300 units. So I mean, like 1 unit is 1 episode of TV series. And we also have cartoon movies. And so thank you very much for opening the branch of VGIK. This is, yes, only foreign branch of VGIK is located in Tashkent. This year we are opening new faculties, and not only students from Uzbekistan, but also students from Kyrgyzstan, from Azerbaijan, from Grozny city are studying there. And you mentioned that fairy tales are popular in Uzbekistan. How many cinemas do you have in cinema halls do you have in Uzbekistan? Actually, about 100 cinema halls. But big cities are being constructed and expanded, and big shopping centers will be equipped with cinema halls. And taking into account the fact that we have 37 million people population. And we would like to introduce our speaker, Yuri Maryanovich from Belarus Film.
Good afternoon, dear friends. I'm happy to welcome all of you at our forum. Greetings and best regards from our country and from Belarus Film of ours. It is a pleasure for us to take part in this event. Thank you for inviting us, and I would like to express my gratitude to all of you. I'm eager to thank the Ministry of Culture of the Russian Federation for supporting our film called Black Castle. We submitted it several days ago. Thank you very much. We are thankful to you. The film turned out to be high quality and great. We rely on release and support in the Russian Federation. By and large, Belarus Film is ready to cooperate with their colleagues from the CIS. We have good expertise with Lendoc. We have some harmonies and agreements, and their implementation is underway right now. And jointly with Igor Golnikov, we are going to promote our projects soon. It's called Voyan Film. We are going to shoot a film in Belarus, and its working name will be Batka Minai, or Belarus Legend. It is dedicated to Belarus guerrilla and our great patriotic war and the shared victory of our nations, of our brother nations. We look up to the support of the Ministry of Culture, and in turn our Minister of Culture, Anatoly Markevich, pays special attention to this film. That's what the ministry has envisaged. It has envisaged 50% of funding for this film, and we are poised to produce it. And we anticipate that the Ministry of Culture of the Republic of Belarus will help us. Hopefully this film is pivotal, and I believe that it will be supported. And as for joint production, I would like to stress that when it comes to Belarus Film nowadays, it is now also shooting military films, and Russian companies are involved. In February, we made an input to our base. We shot Tatarstan film. It's a military film. Other Russian companies were also involved, and our partnership is forged. And in turn, we are ready to show our location filming and to provide our outdoor filming. We are ready to provide our capacities, capabilities, and outdoor platform. We are ready to provide our films. We have 1,600 units of pistols, guns, to name a few, and some other units of gear. We are ready to cooperate with our colleagues. We have vehicles, we have all the capabilities. We are ready for joint films. And we are in favor of joint production of films when it comes to Russian Federation, the CIS countries. Thank you very much. If possible, could you please show the video of our Belarus film? Maybe you'll do it on your own, if possible, or maybe it is us who's responsible for that. Nothing is visible. We cannot say anything yet. Dear colleagues, if there is a break, we may give the floor to you and to ask you a question. Can you hear us? Yes, please. Yuri, when it comes to release, are there any Russian films which are being released right now? Yes, definitely. And what is the percentage of the Russian films which are now released in Belarus? Let me state that the major percentage of Russian films is 80 to 70 Russian films. There is a great number of films. Blindage film has recently been shown. My colleagues have displayed it. It is going smoothly right now. Esteemed colleagues, in order to work closer, in the Republic of Belarus, as far as I remember, we have 170 cinema screens, and they are state-owned. All the cinemas are well repaired. They are fitted with 3D systems. They are upgraded everywhere, and they're fine-tuned. And they are customized for co-production films show, to name a few. And that's why we are also eager to share our facilities for production. It means that we may meet our market needs on our own. When it comes to funding, we are ready to turn on the presentation. Yes, please. Let us now display the presentation. Please turn it on.
Ничего.
Allo?
Well, can you hear us properly? Thank you very much. Thank you, Yuri. There is a question with respect to Uzbekistan's progress. When it comes to co-production, it accounts for $11 million. Is there any quote, any figure in Belarus on which the producers may rely? I mean, those who are eager to launch co-production with you. You know, we are currently taking into account a live case jointly with Tatarstan Film. We had pitching and they took part in it. Ilyashi and Ilyas, it's a very interesting film. We were concerned with it and they made a quotation on their own. Probably we will submit for the application for the film of Ministry of Culture of the Russian Federation altogether, and it is a fundamental film when IT guys found themselves in a hotbed. And you may probably reconsider your whole life while watching this film. But still, we are devoted to our partners. A year ago, namely 8 months ago, we signed an agreement on joint production cooperation together with Tatarstan, and we will probably provide for financing our budget. Hopefully it is attainable. And when it comes to props, equipment and gear, I will contribute to that when it comes to co-production films. As for finance, our contests are held by the Ministry of Culture. The Victory of Belarus film is visible in some contests, and some kinds of production will be part of 4 game films. There is a joint film with Igor Golnikov, and it accounts for 7 million Belarus rubles. It's approximately $2.5 million when it comes to the Republic of Belarus. And there are also quite a number of films which we are going to launch within 2024. When it comes to the information quality, 12 documentaries are now being produced, and they won the awards of some projects of the Ministry of Culture of the Republic of Belarus. If you are interested in our joint co-production, I'm ready to answer your question, because the technical interference impeded me from hearing your question. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, Yuri, for answering your question. Greetings to Belarus. Could you please show the trailer? We are now going to show you the trailer of Nick Film. Yes, thank you very much. This is the trailer of Nick Film. It is asked to show it right now. Yes, let us watch it now. Thank you very much.
Мои партнеры могут показать.
My partners can show it. Yes, we're turning it on. Okay, good. Rayet Farid Zadeh is Mr. Farid Zadeh. Are you with us? Okay, so just let's check the connection.
Hello, прошу переводчика.
Okay, are you?
I have a little bit delay. You can hear me with some delay. I'm sorry about it.
آقای
Good
فریدزاده
evening, my
لطفا
dear
فارسی
colleagues.
صحبت
Can you
کنید من
hear me?
میتونم ترجمه کنم.
Господин Фаридзаде, добрый день.
Mr. Farid Zadeh, good day.
Hey,
ادامه بدین
خب
آقای
من
فریدزاده.
به
من
فارسی میگم و
من روسی ترجمه
همکار
میکنم.
محترم
Thank you for having me, dear friends.
Господин Фаридзаде, мы сегодня говорим о копродукции, о возможности.
We're talking about co-production, the opportunities of co-production with the CIS countries. How does Farid Fund implement these projects? And how can we contribute to these projects? How can we consider these projects for co-production? Thank you for giving me this opportunity in order to take part in it. I'm eager to take part in it directly, but I would like to be here offline, but due to the situation, I haven't managed to come to this place. Could you please translate the question once again? Should I repeat the question? Do you have joint projects right now of Farabi Fund between Iran and Russia and the CIS countries, and which projects enable us to get funds, and how can we get funds in the future?
У нас несколько
We have several projects.
با بقیه کشورهای همسایه مانند ازبکستان، قرقیزستان
We have collaboration with different countries. We have signed agreements. So this, I'm sorry. So there's interpreter cannot hear the relay interpretation because the speaker is speaking another language, Farsi language. We can see a trailer which is called I'm a Snake, made together with Tatarstan. Okay, let's watch trailer of the film made together with Tatarstan, which is called I'm Snake.
Легенду о Шахмаран я услышал еще в детстве от своей прабабушки. Шахмаран
The legend of Shahmaran I heard from my grandmother. She was a wise queen of all snakes. But once their hunters for treasures, they found the kingdom of Shahmaran and killed her. And now her spirit lives among the mountains, and sometimes it transforms into fantastic golden snake that will share its wisdom to the best people. Hi, world. My name is Nastya, and I used to be worried, nervous. I was considering my life to be the chain of lost opportunities. But you know, sometimes it happens that you meet people and your great world is breaking into pieces. And it became my enlightenment and my waking up. I was afraid of falling down, but I have never thought of spontaneous flight. The best trip in your life. This is your trip to yourself. Life is too short to see it from black and white lens perspective. Are you with me? Visit Tatarstan and Iran. Thank you very much. We are going to express our gratitude to Faridzadeh. Thank you very much. And we have the trailer of the film, which is called Nika, which we previously announced. Hi, my name is Nick. Actually, I'm Nikita, but I don't like to be called like that. I'm 21 years old. I'm an anime buff. And I'm a genius person. I'm genius at programming and breaking other people's programs. I live in Kazan and I study in Finnopolis. And my dream is to leave this country. Everything was perfect. We were given great project for great money. But nobody could deal with it but me. But you could never imagine what kind of trash started to happen in my life. I had to make the most difficult choice in my life. What was your plan? I had to learn who I was without using internet. Nick, who you are without the net. Thank you very much. I would like Milusha to comment on two co-projects. I can pass my micro. Thank you very much. I'm glad to see you all in Kazan forum and at this session, which were initiated by you. There were a lot of questions from CIS countries regarding collaboration with the Russian Federation in cinema industry. Regarding our projects, Tatarstan has been collaborating with many CIS countries, and now we also have collaboration with Iran. We have experience of working with Uzbekistan, and we have some projects which were released in two countries, in Russia and Kazakhstan. Movie was called Tarlan, and Sumbul movie in Uzbekistan and Tatarstan, and now we are working on film with the name Teacher, and we are working on film Nick together with Belarus, and we are working on a movie which is called I'm a Snake. It's a commercial project. Iran got interested because he is aiming to enter the Russian market with not only with movie production but also with their vehicles. We have met with Iranian representatives twice, and I think that this project will be implemented because Tatarstan was also interested in further collaboration with Iran as a country and as a filmmaking state. And at our Kazan Film Festival, it's one of the key players. Farabi Foundation is quite successful at our festival, and I think that this movie, which is called I'm a Snake, which is road movie about the girl who is via her trip and via her meeting with the snake transforms herself. This is a kind of female transformation which has no ideological basis, and this is about touristic attractivity of Iran. And we visited together with the Department of Tourism of Tatarstan, the Republic of Iran. And I think that it could be a good idea to come to the Russian market with such a touristic content.
And that's the collaboration to which we are striving right now. Thank you very much. Yes, let your project succeed. And now let us move on to Lendok, which we have mentioned multiple times. Alexei Klinov has been hosting this festival at this site of the CIS countries. That's also the CIS country pitch in which I'm also taking part. What are the prospects of the projects of co-production with the film studios of the CIS? Please dwell upon the most relevant and topical projects which you are launching right now. And what are your plans for the future? Good afternoon, everyone. Obviously, thank you very much for inviting me to Kazan. I'm a permanent guest to Kazan. It's my hometown right now. It's my home city. Thank you very much. In order not to forget that, thank you for me. And thanks to the Ministry of Culture, we may put our projects into practice. Thank you for your support. But if Sayora and our colleagues had not contributed to our meetings, if Makhmat Said from Tajikistan, and my good friend with whom we're watching these movies. If Talanbek and Anjol hadn't put their efforts, I wouldn't be present here right now. Shanbibna has also helped us. She's case from our filmmaking movements, and that's our crew and our team. And we have recently shared this common denominator, because not only does the force unite us, we all set our goals. We don't have to conceal them. But why do we have this international institution? It hasn't been documented in paper yet, although we are going to provide it with legal embodiment. When we have been to the Ministry of Culture of Tatarstan, the first issue which was raised by Dmitry, and I'm eager to agree with that, the filmmaking is the issue of our security, and we are applying a cautious approach to that. Why is it called with this stupid word called co-production? It is our joint filmmaking in which we should take part. We should be full-fledged participants and full-scale participants. We respect the mentality of diverse countries. We start finding the common ground, and we understand each other's needs, and we understand what we need from others. We take into account our historical and ideological specificity, and we have these meetings which enables us to opt for particular relevant topics. Thank you, Dmitry, for the pitchings. Dmitry has held this pitching not only at Landog, but also in Moscow and Kaliningrad and the CIS countries, to name a few. All these are the tools which led us to hands-on solutions. What else would I like to emphasize? Yes. When it comes to dog projects, there is no point in enumerating them, but there is still a teaser. Maybe you have downloaded it. Let us make the sound deafen the sound so that I comment on it very briefly. It shouldn't be that loud. I'm flying to Tashkent today, and I fly to Belarus Kino on the 22nd of May. We meet. We have these meetings. We have these gameplay meetings, but they stem from documentaries. We have recently had the film called Fugitives. It's about the fugitives who have run to Poland from Khabarovsk. There we had the script. We had a meeting with Yulia Ivanova in mass media, and they were sparked off with this idea. We were going to sign all the agreements and to launch an episode to the series, and that's also the fruit of our meeting and our joint work. Yes, it should be calmer so that I can comment on it. That's the first film. And Distinct State has already covered that. That's dedicated to the mosque and Emir. Of course, that's kind of an investigation film. Not only do we investigate the fate of Emir Bukhara, we are seeking for senses. Why are we focused on Emir and St. Petersburg? What has he actually done in St. Petersburg? And what is our mission? We're looking for the answers to our life and our reality. There are profound philosophy issues. That's an issue of our great friendship. There are some military men who had their service at the frontier, and by the will of God, our officer has to get back to Tajikistan and to solve the unsettled issues of the past. His daughter is missing, and we were planning to launch it in May, but now we are traveling to Tajikistan. There was a great meeting. Then the ministers of Interior and the guardians were taking part in it. And when it comes to the script, we're going to launch it into production on August or September. And one of our actors will play Zali in this film. And it is a pleasure for me. This film is shot owing to our friends from Kyrgyzstan. It was shot more than a year ago. Delmira is the film director. She's renowned in Europe. That's kind of a new vision of this movie. It was sent to Tajik the festival. Hopefully, Nick will also be released. We have sent it to REN-TV and MNMG for consideration. And that's also a fabulous film called Jar. It's an enormous project spanning India, Russia, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and Belarus. I hope that I haven't forgotten Tajikistan as well. we welcome our Russian actors. For instance, Ravchana Kurkova has called us in a day asking where we're going to start. My friend Artem Tkachenko and Pasha Derivanko are also taking part in it. And Pasha would like to be Jean with golden teeth. That's how the entire world is united in order to find a missing woman. And you can see a boy who encounters an old man, like Khatabich, magician, old magician, and that's visualized. That's the tool which is well known for any kid, and they are going to rescue their mom, and the mother is found eventually, and they're dancing Tajik and Uzbek dances. And Jabat is the celebrity of Indian films. Thanks to Mahmoud Said, we got acquainted with her more than a year ago in Tajikistan, and they are conducive to implementing this project. Now we are transforming it. We met the representatives of the Islamic Department of Sber, and we got acquainted with some people. There is also my friend Angelo Scondo from Italy. That is how we are getting acquainted with my compatriots. And that's how we are collaborating and finding one another. And it is rewarding, and that's why we're here. That's why we're boasting of that, and that's not the exhaustive list. We are finding new people, and we are going to join one meeting on the 17th of May. Michelle and our colleagues of all these cases, we have shared goals and common goals. And we rely on your support and our further accomplishments. Welcome to St. Petersburg on the 23rd of August. We have the Next Line Festival, and Ministry of Culture is contributing to that. And Ministry of Culture has supported our favorite city. We invite all of you to St. Petersburg on the 23rd of August. Thank you for your kind attention.
Okay, can we connect with Tajikistan? Okay, I hope that we can see Mahmoud Said. The floor is yours. Good day, distinguished colleagues and guests of the forum. Good day, Milausha Tuganova, Dmitry Anatolievich, Tilnov Alexei, Sayora, good day. I see Mr. Shakerov. And all those people who I can see here. So I greet all of you, ladies and gentlemen. I have an opportunity to give a speech about realization in the government policy of the projects in culture. I'd like to mention that the issues of filmmaking in Tajikistan is under control of Emomali Rahmon, the president of our country, of Tajikistan. And the development of filmmaking industry is possible because of our colleagues' support. In Tajikistan, we have implemented state programs dedicated to improvement of quality filmmaking and film release. We updated inventory. We have trained specialists in our country and abroad. We have organized international and Republican film festivals, conferences, meetings, and we are working on closer collaboration with filmmakers and film producing institutions in different countries. and we study and exchange experience in film production with other countries. And we have reconstructed the material facilities in Tajikistan, which let us ensure the work of different groups and create dozens of different films. Tajik cinema as a social cultural institution plays a crucial role in formation of the nation mentality. We are planning to create such documentaries which will provide the truthful reflection of the past and of the current society issues. The government of the Republic of Tajikistan in 2006 started the program of cinema development recently with the help of the government. We have released animation or cartoon films for children, and due to state funding we have beneficial and favorable conditions for filmmaking, and new specialists come to join the filmmaking team, and we are negotiating with different investors in order to raise fundings to build 20 cinema halls in cities and regions of the Republic of Tajikistan. This year in Dushanbe, we have built 4 cinema studios. The issues of funding of filmmaking industry are crucial issues. Filmmaking industry is important for its cultural and economic functions. For last years, Tajik filmmaking industry has improved greatly in terms of quality of film production and the content of the movies themselves. Recently, we will we have constructed 34 cinema halls. International relationship of Tajik film with foreign colleagues are improving. We have signed agreements between Tajik film and Russian companies. My colleague and my friend Alexei Tilnov told about our further projects. And all our work which was supposed to be done in Tajikistan is already finished. And we also are collaborating with Uzbekistan, Azerbaijan, China. We have just signed a new memorandum of creating a new narrative movie with China, a Chinese company. We also are working and interested in collaboration with Moldova, Iran, the Belarus Republic to implement the the proposal of Emomali Rahmon and the president of Tajikistan and the president of Uzbekistan. We are implementing the project in making films about the friendship between Uzbek and Tajik nations. Two weeks ago, in the framework of the visit of the president of Uzbekistan, there was a cultural program of Uzbek film, and we have finished the first stage of our work. And according to the memorandum of cooperation between Tajik Film and Lendok, which we were discussing previously, and which is being financed by the Ministry of Culture of Russia, and we are implementing a new project dedicated to the film, which is called Vasily Tyrkin. 3 months into this project, and the film will be staged in Tajikistan. All the organization issues have been settled, and we are waiting for our colleagues to make the film about Vasily Tyrkin, dedicated to the 85th year anniversary. And many projects are at the stage of confirmation. In the framework of our forum, I'd like to address to Dmitry Anatolievich regarding reconstructing work of restoring the archive of Tajikistan. And while celebrating the birthday of famous Tajik film director, we will demonstrate a movie which is, and we ask you to collaborate with us, and we ask to give us the copy of 4 episode movies made by Tahir Sabirov, film director, produced in Tajik film studio, produced in the Soviet Union time, and which is kept in the archives of the Russian State Teleradio Foundation. And we wrote a letter, and I would like to add that we are ready to negotiations for the sake of mutually fruitful cooperation.
To concur, I would like to express my gratitude to all of my colleagues for fruitful cooperation. Thank you for working together, and we are ready to provide all the indispensable services and to create new opportunities for making new feature films and movie pictures in any location. And we welcome our colleagues, and we anticipate our cooperation. Thank you for your kind attention. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Muhammad Said. Now I'm eager to give the floor to Angelo Sconda. Angelo, please tell us about the reasons why you have been living in Russia for the second year, and what is your liaison with our country, and which projects are you preparing, and what are you going to create here?
Pronto, pronto. Innanzitutto volevo ringraziare di avermi accettato qui tra voi, Alexei della Lendoc che mi ha portato qui a Kazan, Dima che ho rivisto con piacere.
В первую очередь хотел бы всех поблагодарить.
First and foremost, I would like to express my gratitude to leading me to Kazan. If there was not Alexei's contribution, I would also like to express our gratitude to Lia and Dmitry. Thank you, dear friends. Thank you for welcoming me here. Thank you very much.
Di cui parlava Dmitry Davidenko. Effettivamente la cultura va oltre ogni muro.
I would like to start with the following thing. The culture is the pivotal aspect of our development, as Dmitry Davidenko has mentioned, and it helps us cross the borders which are imposed over the past years.
A collaborare insieme tra l'Italia e la Russia per un progetto che accomuna la nostra storia.
And now we are coming up with an innovative project which will help us forge our cooperation between Russia and Italy, and that's the project I would like to outline. That's the history that dates back from the appearance of Jiguli car brand. It was manufactured in Togliatti, but that's the love story, a romance between Masha, a Russian girl, and an Italian guy. His name was Mario, and he was an engineer.
Di quel periodo.
It's a real story which enables us to reveal the conflict between different countries. That's Ford company presented by the USA, the French brand Renault, Russia and Italy are also involved in that. This case allows us to deeper understand our past and what happened previously. And evidently, thanks to love and affection, this overwhelming power, they managed to win the bidding, and Jiguli car appeared, and this immense cooperation between Russia and Italy was initiated. The most exciting point is the following one. We've found Maria. She's 90 years old. She's alive. She lives in Geneva. And we also got acquainted with her daughter, and she was retelling this narrative to us. It is a real case. It's a real story.
Inizialmente, per quanto concerne organizzare il trasferimento dei fondi.
But evidently, we face the problems of funding and financial support. The following challenge we came across has already been settled. Who is the film director to be picked, be it a Russian guy or an Italian director. If a Russian fund supports it, definitely they are eager to see a Russian director. And vice versa, when it's an Italian fund, it is the Italian director who will contribute to that. But we found a way out. When Italy is mentioned in this story, it will be an Italian director who will shoot it. And when it comes to Russia, it is the Russian director who will better reflect these specific events. And it seems to me that it's a striking solution, because the film will be able to showcase two new views and opinions, and two different cultures and two different kinds of history are reflected there. And in my opinion, it's impressive. I talked to those who represent this cultural branch in Russia. They are going to back it, and no challenges will occur in the cultural aspect. Also, I turned to Rome, to Milan. I was also supported there, and no problems are foreseen. And I would like to highlight that there are no obstacles for the cooperation between Russia and Italy in terms of filmmaking. Let us make films. Let's forget about political issues. I believe that we should just focus on filmmaking, and we'll succeed in doing that. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. And let me also make an addition. I'm also aware of this project. Vasily Krovikov, who is the chief editor of NTV, he is writing the script, and the governor of Samara region is also concerned with this project, and the state funds are also allocated for that, and hopefully this project will be both implemented and supported. And we would like Angelo to take part in the film committee. That's where he's going to share his experience on film committee at the European level. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now we're moving on to Kyrgyzstan. Dear counterparts, Talanbek is going to share his experience regarding project development in Uzbekistan, in Kyrgyzstan, and what is the budget of filmmaking in your republic? Which projects are you launching in cohesion with Russia, and what are you going to launch in the future? Thank you for your question in the first place. It is my honor and privilege to be here. I would like to express my gratitude to our today's event's hosts for inviting me. Over the past 6 months, it's my third trip to Kazan, actually. I'm a frequent guest here. We have ambitious, all-encompassing plans with some territories of the Russian Federation, and especially with the Republic of Tatarstan. Hopefully it will be put into practice, and it gives an impetus to creating a better vista of Russia. And our today's forum is a tremendous opportunity to welcome all the speakers. Thank you very much. I'm happy to see all of you. In a nutshell, I am eager to get back to your question in the very end, if possible. Let me say from the outset that our film center was established more than 40 years ago, but it was upgraded last year. And it is aimed at being interwoven in this regulatory context. We're now moving on to integration, and that's our reference and partner. We are a reference and a benchmark and a partner, potential partner of Roskino. And we would like Kyrgyz filmmaking, just like Dmitry has declared in the topic that we have shared history. We don't have to forget about it. And the key message is the following one. all of our strategic partners and the heads of state come to our place. A week ago, we celebrated our shared anniversary. That was the 9th of May. It's our festive days, our common celebration, and this should give impetus to our upcoming cooperation. As we have already highlighted, that we shouldn't assess it from a particular perspective. Now these frontiers are diluted, but we should forge partnership. Thank you, the representatives of the Russian Federation, for forging this partnership. And our film center is now evolving very rapidly. And as I have already highlighted in the very beginning, we started very close cooperation with Russia. Several weeks ago, we were focused on the Russian Federation. Weeks ago, that was the initiative of the government of Kyrgyzstan. There were some weeks of Russian movies, and now we are focused primarily on that. We're allocating funds, and this event turned out to be very successful, and Kyrgyz audience enjoys the Russian films. All the seats are occupied during this place when these films are shown, be it genre films or some other films, and we gain profit in Kyrgyzstan. And there was a very cordial welcome initiated by our audience. Our two large cities of our southern capital and Bishkek were the venues. And please don't forget this iconic date, the 11th of May, because the Ministry of Culture has allocated the subsidy with a view to gaining subsidies and to arranging joint events. That's the first impetus, that's the first attempt, and we'll even make progress in this direction, because we're also planning to establish a film cluster, and we'll also focus on the Russian Federation. We are also eager to call upon you to take part in this event, that here are the unique locations of our republic, and you are committed to seeing that. And I would like to say my special thanks to Dmitry for supporting us. The president of our republic, Sadir Japarov, has supported the initiative of filmmakers. Funding has increased by a factor of 5, and for this reason, our films have higher quality. And the 11th of April, Kyrgyz films were released in the Russian Federation. That's a tribute to the Department of Filmmaking, and that's the opportune time when we need support. There was sort of distinction between these countries and those countries, but thanks to the Ministry of Culture, the release of this film was very successful. It spans over 40 cities and towns of the Russian Federation. And there is Nurbek Atakanov, who's the representative of this chamber. And we have earned 51 million rubles. And over the decades of our independence, that's the first film which hits the box office sales revenue. And now we're giving an impetus altogether. All the filmmakers are taking part in it, and they should also pay taxes. And now let us upgrade it in order to jointly film it and to shoot these films. And we also create platforms and sites in order to attract these venerable producers. We do need joint projects. According to our statistical data, I truly liked your question at the very beginning. We are a filmmaking organization which issues the release certificates. We regulate all the films and film shows in our republic. We have a total of 28 cinemas. This number is not enormous, but it is also going up. We have approximately 50 cinemas, and they accommodate approximately 20 seats. We are fans of films in our country. We are fond of cinemas. And over 50 countries show their films in our country. And last year, we granted 380 release certificates, and 371 of them are foreign ones. That's the broad range of our countries. We lack Russian films in this field, but I turn to these distributors. They are actively filing applications for these films. Last year we showed 34 movies, and I've made inquiries. Over the past 4 months, we have introduced 18 films, and 8 months are left. And I believe that we will keep inviting the Russian films to our republic. Apart from hosting these film weeks, we are also working directly with the territories of the Russian Federation. And you know that Chingiz, who's world famous, is partly from Tatarstan. His mother is from Tatarstan. That's why he has roots in Tatarstan. And we cherish our cooperation. And we launched a warm, cordial tradition last year. There is a week of non-Kyrgyzstan films in Tatarstan. There will be a great delegation from the Republic of Tatarstan and Kyrgyzstan, and hopefully this integration will be solidified. And we are going to see 150 films. We share the same values and history. And that is why we are striving for joint film screenings, and we are aspiring for joint shows and films, and we should also be centered around co-production. Our viewers enjoy the Kyrgyz films, although we are ranked the 3rd or the 5th place, but these Kyrgyz films are dynamically conquering the market. Last year we had low-budget projects.
This year we've made a thriller film which is called Taxi. It was released in Kyrgyzstan. It's a debut work with a budget of 40,000 rubles, but their box office revenues were much bigger. Now we have 52 projects at the inception stage, and we have 192 projects, and 50 projects are private projects, and only 2 projects were supported by the government. We understand that the author movie have to be supported. Last year, this number, so I mean that there were mostly genre projects which actually gained their major part of their market, and this year we have very ambitious and promising plans together with Uzbekistan and Russia. And the next slide. So we actually previously offered 3 projects. For example, the dog running on the edge of the sea. And so you are a good, like ambassador of goodwill. And the project which we are working on, the Heaven is Under Your Mother's Feet, a movie. This film will be staged in Tatarstan, close to Kazan. We would like to pay tribute to the many years of our collaboration with Tatarstan, because our first teachers in Medrese were from Tatarstan. So here, the 3 projects which we would like to present, and hopefully they will be in a profile of projects. And I hope that, I actually share the opinion that we have a common history. We have different currents who are trying to separate us from each other in the era of digital transformation. We need to make an accent on modern, advanced media projects. We need to talk about them and make them, and maybe in a year the marketing situation can change, but we will lose time. And I urge you to collaborate, and thank you very much for your kind attention. And thank you for your invitation, for very hospitable Tatarstan, and for your hospitality. And I wish you success. Thank you very much. This year I visited the Youth Film Festival, and I see how filmmaking industry is developing in Kyrgyzstan, and I think it's a kind of phenomenon which deserves to be a kind of role model for many other. Nurbek, the representative of Trade Chamber and the producer of the movie which is called Heaven Under Mother's Feet. As a representative of Commerce and Industry Chamber of okay, our key aim is to support business, and the film director of this film addressed us and he asked us to support, and we agreed to do it. And I think that previously we were making accent on materials and goods, and this particular project is the project which demonstrates, displays our country from different perspectives, as Salambek showed in cities and regions of Russia where it was released. It's not only a narrative; it's a kind of advertisement for our country. We've demonstrated beautiful places of Kyrgyzstan, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Kazakhstan, and via this film we wanted to show the key values such as mothers, family, and children. And I think that after this movie, a lot of children will reconsider a lot of things, especially regarding to their parents. And I think in the era of digitalization and fast moving, this is things which we sometimes unfortunately ignore. And I think that this is the first film which received a film release certification in Russia, and it inspired our film directors to improve their quality, because they understand that there is a demand and there is a market for their work, and we hope that we will contribute to development of this industry. Thank you very much. I'm going to show the presentation. I'm going to put it in a nutshell. Can you display my presentation? Yes, we were talking about sceneries, competitions, and about release. And actually, regional and movie and movies from CIS countries are conquering cinema halls, and some films. Heaven is beneath Mother's Heaven has great box office revenue, sales revenues. And besides this movie, the movie which is called Karina, about a girl, 4-year girl who survived alone in the forest, and the movie by Karachayeva-Cherkessy film director, who was presented in our pitching, and he got 55 million rubles as box office sales revenue, which is a kind of record for regional movie. And the movie which is called Educatee of Suvorov University. And so we are talking about the challenge by the village. We need to have a very systematic work in terms of film release. Thank you very much to the Ministry of Culture, together with the Ministry of Education. We organized the joint shows for teachers, and the regional movie communities also contributed, and it was a good release results in the Caucasus region. Every in our case, we hope that a new movie made by Kazakh film studio will be widely presented, which is called Nabat Operation. Can we show the exclusive trailer? So, what's happened? The massive flee from the prison. So, two of them were sentenced to death. And the most dangerous prisoners, two of them were sentenced to death. I had to become the chief of the operation. I'm going to kill you. The escaped prisoners were detected. Okay, I think that negotiations is a solution. So let's make a real trouble. So they will find your family and kill all of them. You have 9 seconds, and you will have 1 refugee dead. Your mission is failed. 3, 2, 1. We are condemned to death, and we don't care about anything.
Yes, thank you. This film is truly life-affirming, but there are some other different genres of our filmmaking. Dear colleagues, it's time to pass the floor to Mikhail Beranze. We're going to talk about the international cooperation and protecting intellectual property in the Russian Federation. Mikhail, the floor is yours. Dmitry, I'm also pondering on this trailer. That's the evil. It's shown as evil. It is not romanticized in it. That's a real story. This case occurred in 1990, and I'm not going to disclose any spoilers, but it had a happy end. I'm a film fan. I adore classical Soviet films and European films. That is why I am fond of that while listening to the representatives of the filmmaking industry, of your industry on the whole. First and foremost, I would like to express my gratitude to the organizers of this conference. I join these acknowledgement words. I believe that that's a great privilege to be present here. Being a creative person, I do enjoy it. Many of you are aware of the fact that our profession is not less creative. And there is also an old joke when a lawyer is asked what means 2 multiplied by 2. He closes the curtains and asking, and how much do we need? Not only is our work linked to legal regulation and the regulatory aspects, but also it is linked to law enforcement, and that's where we observe the most significant challenges. When I was aware of the topic, and when I realized that it is the collaboration in the film industry should be discussed, possible challenges in the interaction between countries and between different states and creation of film products struck my mind. When it comes to audiovisual products, it's a broader notion. That's why I'm focused on filmmaking. And I conducted a short analysis. Author rights are the most vague, the vaguest part of intellectual safety, let alone patents. It's crystal clear, as well as inventions and trademarks and industrial samples. And when it comes to author rights, it's more complicated because there are some personal non-proprietary rights, because you cannot yield any profit from that. Here are the names of script writers and their names. I was interested in listening to Angela regarding the Russian and Italian film. Which question I wondered, which name which will be the first one in the list of the participants and the list of the captions. The director's name and who will be the director. I faced it directly. I'm not going to bore you, but still there are some all-encompassing conventions protecting authors' rights. There are so-called framework conventions. Not only do states apply them, but they just state the fact that the rights of the authors have to be protected, and that's their area of applicability. And then go the regional mechanisms. There are some agreements on authors' rights, but you know all this is related to authors' rights. This refers to audiovisual items, including the items which are placed on the internet. That's a very broad range. And if it is considered in a narrow context, my personal experience was associated with working with producers and co-producers when it comes to documentaries. That's the vibrant experience I gained. It's very complicated. Because the co-producer was the company which has got funds from the Dutch fund. The second company has obtained that from the Spanish fund. And the third company was the Russian one. It was private investment. There is a documentary. It's a historic retrospective of Russia in the 1990s. And a dispute took place. As far as you know, our profession is preeminently related to problem solving. Not only is it about regulation, but it is also about finding solutions. And often do we come across distribution of income and the financial aspect. That's the most daunting part of our job. And what did we face? Yes, there are some regional mechanisms as part of the Council of Europe. And that's the Convention of the Council of Europe. Let me tell you that precisely. I'm not going to cheat you anyhow. It's about a co-production dated 1992. It's about filmmaking, joint filmmaking. And the fourth article of this document states that all other audiovisual items are ruled out. And I'm confident, and that's true, that the prehistory of this document was creation of national films and national movies. It's not just a guideline for you. It's not a recommendation. I'm smoothly summarizing it because the time is limited. It's not a recommendation. It's just setting a question. Over my 20-year working experience in different domains and industries and sectors, I've primarily faced the following challenge. It is necessary to establish an association or a site or a venue or a platform, including the one where we are present right now. We're honored to be present here. In order to accentuate the issue of addressing governmental agencies, turning to the representatives of the government, such as the government, the Ministry of Culture, and all the people involved, be it bilateral agreements or something else. It is not audiovisual films. It's about bilateral films or regional mechanisms, but it is all about joint co-production and of films or filmmaking. And that's how it was defined in the Council of Europe. Actually, they still face problems, and my hands-on experience testifies to the fact that they even have corporate problems when they divide their income, because they sometimes do not know the name of which company should be the first one in the title. I've heard that, and I've listened to that for 2 weeks, and that's why joint filmmaking or co-production term was introduced. That's the first tenet. Also, the document testifies to the national mechanisms of support. And there is also a specific feature. International legal documents may have a collision with the rules of the national law. There is sort of an appeal, and we have a limited list and the criteria of selecting films, of shortlisting and approving some films. And in this case, we face challenges. For instance, the film is has 30% or 70% of co-producers support, or there are maybe 3 or 4 co-producers, and that's the issue which should be raised and tackled. And one of these opportunities is to tackle it as part of this fantastic event. I would like to thank you once again, and let me finalize my speech. No law can regulate everything. It's not achievable, but law should make progress. And it spells out any norm and any provision, and it is the industry which refers to lawmakers, saying that they face challenges, they face some difficult situations, and what they need is progress. I wish you further success. I do relish this event. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
So we are going to continue talking about the author rights. And I give the floor to Elvira Sadikova. Thank you very much. And I'm going to join what has been previously said. I will put it in a nutshell, and I'm going to dwell upon a practical aspect. I had experience in the Institute of Lawmaking, and I can formulate, since I have experience in this area. Unfortunately, I have to say that today we are facing new challenges in the area of the author rights, especially in particular with audiovisual products. So we are being dictated with the regional rules. So we are facing with the problems of sanction policy, and in this particular case, one or another party has to make a choice. And there is a question how these hurdles can be surmounted. Today we are talking about the creation of new and appearance of new world centers. And so previously I was in a group of strategic vision. So we have a Shanghai Organization of Cooperation, we have BRICS. And again, back to my university experience and what Michael Rolandovich said. Okay, European Council adopts directives and make typical agreements. So, and even if you have the most perfect legislation, we are facing with sanction policy. And for example, the film made with Russian participation in collaboration with Russia. Other countries may have some problems with this film release, and also we have some problems with new digital technologies. And as a practical expert and as a scholar, I think that we have to initiate at the government level of the Russian Federation and at the ministry level, we have to initiate the question regarding this area of work. This area of work should receive their legislative formulation, and we need to expand soft legislation. We need to talk about their enhancement of licensing agreements. We're going in the area of the international law. And so everything has to be stipulated in the written agreements. So I say that I am ready to cooperation and I'm ready to give recommendations. Thank you very much. The next important topic is film tourism. We unfortunately short of time, but I'd like to give Aygul the floor. Colleagues, good day. Some of you we are already acquainted with. I can say that welcome to Tatarstan. I'm going to talk about tourism, and I think that I'm going to share absolutely different information. Actually, the film staging, it is not in our area of expertise, but being engaged in tourism sector, I can say that we are dreaming of such situation that after film was made, some places of interests will gain more popularity, and we want to promote our region in terms of tourism. And I'd like to say that we have culture, very rich and culture and history, and we can be a perfect scenery for any film. Okay, actually, while watching today the trailers, I was intrigued. And I think that it's a kind of dream work when you're working on filmmaking. So I will try to put in a nutshell my big presentation. Okay. I think that I'm not okay. Yeah, I may be making some mistakes. I cannot open my presentation. Okay, so can you do it for me? Maybe we can use my computer. Friends, I'd like to say that we have our own touristic brand. And we say that Tatarstan is a place of 1001 pleasure. We invite our tourists not to only see the sightseeings, but we also invite you to enjoy our culture, our cuisine, and maybe some extremal activities. You can enjoy shopping. We have great touristic potential. Last year we had 4 million tourists, and for sure such numbers make us work intensively on the quality of our work. We have a lot of good restaurants with different kinds of cuisine. We have staff speaking different languages. And we have good experience of filmmaking, but mostly I talk about travel programs for international channels. We always support such work because we want more and more people to know about Tatarstan, to be inspired by its hospitality. And we made a cycle of touristic programs with an actor, which is Vili Hapasala. And he traveled along the Volga River, and we made 10 episodes of this documentary movie. And, you know, the experience of making a movie which is called Zuleika Opens Her Eyes. And I would like to say that this historical object, which is a part of our legacy, is a very famous tourist place of sightseeing. And this is one more point of attraction. And we are proud of 4 objects of UNESCO World Legacy, and this is more than any other region in Russia has. You see the harmony of 2 religions in the Kazan Kremlin, when the Orthodox church is neighboring with the Muslim mosque. In Kazan, we have a lot of architecture pieces. We have a falling tower. And so my suggestion to show these slides, actually, I was disappointed hearing that you have already visited Kazan many times, but on the other side, I'm happy that you have already seen it. Actually, the island Sviazhsk Grad, which is very beautiful. I think that Pushkin mentioned this particular island in his works. It's a very authentic and beautiful place. And one of UNESCO object is the Great Bulgar. This is the capital of Volskaya, Bulgaria, which was a city in the past, and it was one of the points along the Silk Road, Silk Way. On the previous slide, you saw the symbol of this place, which is called White Mosque, and we call it Taj Mahal of Tatarstan. And to commemorate the date of converting into Islam of Tatar people, we store the biggest Quran in the world. And you see the monuments of 13th and 14th centuries, and you can enjoy the atmosphere of the Oriental world everywhere. And you can see that Tatarstan is very different in different places, and we have also modern object of architecture. You see the big hotel complex made in the best Oriental traditions. You see the magnificent and superb interiors of this hotel with huge spa complex facilities. You see the merchant city, which is called Yelabaga, and it is associated with the poet Marina Tsvetaeva and some other famous artists and scientists, and it has beautiful places. And other city, which is called Chistopol, famous for its clocks. And Boris Pasternak used to live there. And you see the big streets of merchant mansions. That's a beautiful province. And the next topic I'd like to convey. Tatarstan is rich in resources. You can see the flooding, the Volga River, which is flooding for 43 kilometers. We have the Volskaya route, and this is for our tourists to see the nature of Tatarstan. And you see the this is a place where the Kama and the Volga River join together. The picturesque landscape. You see the interesting scenery for filmmaking. We have caves with a length of more than 1,000 meters. And you see small houses scattered around the bank of the river. We have not only history, but we have also advanced technologies. For example, the city of IT technology, you see unmanned vehicles. Tatarstan is very different, and we are dreaming of our films made in Tatarstan become popular. And we want our region to be promoted via our films. Thank you very much. And today we have been talking about making film commission to attract federal filmmaking crews. And I hope that maybe after our session, the government of the region will consider creation of the institution, such type of institution. I'd like to give the floor to Ella Tukhareli, our next guest.
It's a conventional opinion that regional films are not that topical and relevant and boring, but that's the myth, which I would like to dispel. And first and foremost, I would like to show one of the films of our catalog. I don't mean the film, I mean the trailer. You shouldn't be intimidated by that. You should understand what modern regional films are about and what the area of responsibility of our fund is. Please turn on the volume. The past and the future are linked with a thin thread. And sometimes we hold it in our hands. Now it's time to remember it and to transform it, to preserve it and to rethink it. It's an endless rebirth. A documentary and artistic improvisation on the topic of the culture, which is disappearing, and sometimes it's our goal to make a brand out of regional films, showing that it has its specificity and its voice. Our fund is only 2 years old, and it was established thanks to Nikita Mikhalkov's help. And it is also noteworthy to mention that the Ministry of Culture of the Russian Federation is actively backing us. The government is propping up us because regional films are strategic. And this country has such a magnitude, a scale, and such reaches. That is why it needs filmmaking, which will recreate and document all of that. And our key patrimony is the following one. And our key patrimony is the contest of documentaries. We support 60 documentaries at the worth 150 million rubles on an annual basis. And co-funding is one of the clauses included in our regulation this year. That is why collaboration with other countries' colleagues is possible now. Let me also show our theme-based areas, and everyone will find the focus area here. Now it's not making, it's moving forward. We have recently received all the applications, and we have received them from documentalists from 64 territories. But we had lower numbers in the past, and now others are not intimidated by us. People were intimidated in the past because we are not at large institutions such as the Ministry of Culture. Now you may ask stupid questions to ask. Please don't be afraid, and we will guide and navigate you and make a hint and all the suggestions. On the one hand, our support is systemic. On the other hand, it's point-wise and tailor-made. The ones who pass all the tests during the contest finalize the drum application so that these guys can be well prepared. Following the shooting process, our works go to the editing laboratory. This year, the head of the editing laboratory, which is my reason of pride, is Svetolik Mishizais, who is the editor of Emir Kusturica. He has edited Black Cat, White Cat. All the awards and titles are brought together in this tandem. And this person will help our contestants edit the material. And we are now actively promoting our films at the international arena. And even unfriendly countries are eager to ask us to give the films to them. There were some films shown in Hungary, in Finland, and we were eager to enter international platforms. And that's where we witness our further way of cooperation. To sum up, that's the final slide. Here you can see our social media links. Please become part of our community, because our directors and our audiences are now online, and that's where we are shaping our community. That's all I would like to cover. Thank you, Ella. Thank you, distinguished colleagues. And to wrap up, let me give the floor to Dmitry in the end. All that you have seen and heard today complies with all your expectations in terms of co-production, doesn't it? Maybe you may suggest some other projects, something else should be added, or everything is making great progress. Dear friends, I would like to highlight that it is incredibly contentful. We set particular goals. That's a valuable meeting, and we can see the prospects. There are some co-production and joint filmmaking projects, but we would like to move forward. Let me voice one more proposal, which was elusive a little bit today, but in my opinion, it is crucial to hold international festivals. And as part of international festivals, we need venues for project presentations. Each and every country should introduce and present their projects, and that there will be so-called pitching, where the producers of the host countries will be able to identify the projects in which they're going to be involved and which they're going to support. I would like to thank my colleagues, our panelists. First and foremost, I'm happy to be your team member. All together, we are creating the films which will be relevant in the near future. And just believe me, being officials or creators, we are game changers and decision makers. And we would like this period of films to be contentful and meaningful and attractive in the manuals of filmmaking. We would like to list the films of which we'll be proud. To conclude, prior to this session, I would like to say that we were waiting for this session because we wanted to enter the free hall and to get ready for it. There was a joke, but there is some truth in this joke. Let me rephrase it and find an alternative wording for it. When it comes to people's friendship, it gives rise and gives birth to beautiful children. And this for friendship of filmmakers, it should give rise to talented and interesting and enthralling films. I wish this kind of cooperation to all of you. Yes, thank you very much. And any business venue should produce other products and give birth to other children. I mean, agreements signed by our colleagues. Dear colleagues, thank you very much, because I was showing my back to you. Thank you, dear speakers, dear panelists. I believe that there is a lot of food to digest today. It is necessary to sleep on it and to experience all that has been mentioned today. All the countries will have something to borrow and to use, be it Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Belarus. You can see that we have a burning desire to work together, and everyone is poised to invest the funds, and also to they are going to put their efforts in that. They are ready to provide support, and businesses ready to invest in it. And tourism is also our stronghold, to which we're able to look up. any capital and any government should also promote the tourist direction. We have signed a lot of agreements so far. In Tatarstan, we are focused on this direction, and approximately 18 agreements have been signed with different Russian territories and the CIS countries. And today we are celebrating a special date. We are eager to sign an agreement with Kyrgyzstan, must say, because we have mutual plans and ideas for film release. Not only do I mean filmmaking, but I also mean mutual film release, and also with Lendog, because we are going to create the films which have already been mentioned. Now we are going to approach the table and to sign them person by person. Talon Beck, maybe you will be the first one to jump in. The agreement between Tatar Kino and Kyrgyz Tasmasy state-owned film center.
And so I invite Alexei Tilnov for Lendog Film Studio to sign the agreement with Kyrgyz Tatmasy Studio. Sorry, Lendog Studio and Tatar Cinema Studio. I invite you to sign the agreement. Thank you very much. So, is it all for today? I think we may call it a day. Thank you very much to everyone.